putting 100 different laws in one bill
don't work.
Leads you down the path of I have to, because if I don't, then I don't get this. And that's not really the way we should be making decisions in this country or any other country, right? It should be, hey, here's the topic. Should we do this or not?
Welcome to season 1 of More Money.
More Money episode 8, man.
It's really bright, by the way.
Bro, it's super bright. I'm kind of like, I'm low-key a little bit like just upset. Like I'm low-key a little discouraged, bro. Like,
because it took so long?
2 hours, bro. And it's still like, and it's still, bro, like, so just so you guys know, we've been doing this, what is it, 117 now? We've been setting this podcast up now for 2 hours.
Long time.
2 entire hours. I literally had to cancel on someone as well. Just because it didn't make it. But we've been setting up for 2 hours because the camera did not want to focus. So if you are a videographer or if you have any, if you're in a podcast studio, please. If for some reason a videographer is watching this, please send help. But yeah, so it's been 2 hours, but we said the show must go on.
That's right.
So we must have had this going. And we're praying that it all comes out well and that nothing's need to be done, right?
It's going to be fine, man. You know what? It's going to be good. The editing team's going to take care of it.
The team from Go the Light Media will take care of it because they're a great team. But they're not magicians either.
Hey, there's always Photoshop.
Yeah, that people told me to do that to you. Yeah, people have told me to Photoshop your face out. So, More Money episode 8, man. We got a lot of really good topics. I think it's the second episode of the year on this. And, well, I mean, we could just jump in, or you want to announce the cool stuff we got going, or you want to say that to the end? What do you want to do here?
No, yeah, jump into topics, man.
Jump into topic. Oh, my gosh. Some crazy topics have come about, especially, I mean, rates are starting to come down a little bit.
Oh, yeah. So rates are coming down. That's kind of cool. I think we're seeing a little bit of movement up and down slightly here and there. But, yeah, overall rates have come down a little bit. I don't know what that actually pans out to, though, right? Because rates are down. People are applying for whatever they're applying for. And at the same time, credit availability is decreasing. So you're going out there, you're applying for something, and you can't qualify for it because the credit availability or the credit box is tightening. So,
before you go on in there, back up real quick. What is credit availability?
Credit availability, just it's for take it as it is, right? It's the availability of credit for customers that are looking for or to borrow money.
Okay, so basically, like what the lending appetite is for banks, like type thing there.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly the way I would explain it to like a customer. How much risk or appetite does the bank have, risk aversion, whatever it is, does the bank have to want to take on new debt, and how loose or tight are they going to be with the guidelines to extend that credit to someone?
The reason I ask is because obviously for our viewers, we want to make sure that they're understanding and they're getting everything there. But yes, you're right. Credit availability is the lowest since 2012.
Yeah, credit availability. Wow, that's a
real article. Yeah,
I read something today.
I did.
I like that.
So yeah, credit availability is the lowest since 2012. What does that mean, man? What does that mean for people?
So let's go back to that application thing, right? So applications are up a lot. Rates are down
10%.
Yeah, applications are up 10%. Rates are down, and people are coming back to the market thinking, "Hey, I want to go buy that house," but at the same time, the credit availability is just not there. And so people are not qualifying for what they want to qualify for. And
so talk to me real quick.
Really not going to move anything ahead, not in a meaningful way. Now, it doesn't mean that, there aren't more loans right now. People are doing more loans,
We definitely are.
Yeah.
So what is it? So explain to me, man. You come from your background. Well, you've also been in the secondary market, right? You've worked in the secondary market, or no?
So I've worked with some secondary guys, and then on the secondary side of the fence for about a year and a half, a long time ago. I was still like an hourly employee back then, but yeah.
But you have experience in that area, and you're pretty familiar because you have a lot of buddies in that area as well, too, right? Yeah. So for somebody who has some sort of experience there and somebody who's kind of understanding, how it can, is it, okay, let me rephrase. Aren't lower interest rates generally mean that you could qualify easier? Why is credit availability going down if rates are going down as well?
So rates going up or down isn't going to dictate why credit guidelines are loosening or tightening.
Okay.
That's going to be a whole different metric somewhere else, right? So somewhere else, the bank or the lender or the whoever controls the money is sitting there saying, we have created these guidelines and these are the guidelines we want to have loans fit into. And that's where your loan product comes from. Your interest rate is set by a whole different set of criteria, and that can move up and down depending upon all of
no correlation.
There's going to be correlation. It's just not, it's not the same thing, right? You're not looking at one or the other going, if rates drop, then credit availability has to tighten. That's not always the case. As we saw a couple of years ago, rates dropped and credit availability was
all over
at a high point. Look at how many people bought or refinanced into an interest rate of 2.9, 3, whatever it was.
That's why I'm asking, because I mean, to my mind, I don't have the experience that you have. I'm thinking low rates come lower, people can qualify for more. I'm sure that's what everybody's thinking.
Well, yeah. So, 3 years ago, that proved to be true, right? So that's why I say one doesn't correlate with the other. One doesn't move with the other just because rates go down, it's not going to get easier. Right now, we're in a marketplace where credit availability is down, rates are down. You would think, hey, I could do more loans, but it's not necessarily true because maybe your borrower's credit profile just doesn't fit in this bucket right now.
Oh, I like that. So, wow. So even though rates are down does not mean that you're going to have more qualified buyers. So let's snowball this. What does that mean for, side note real quick. I actually saw a video where the guy was like skiing and he fell, and dude, there was a guy that was snowboarding, and the guy's snowboarding, the only reason he found him because his feet were up in the air out of the snow, and the guy was inside the snow, so he had to save him. It's crazy stuff. I don't know why I wouldn't snowboard. So rates are down. People are thinking, hey, this probably means 100% that I'm going to have more business, that banks' business is going to go up and all that, but you're saying no. So what does this mean for the market in general?
Listen, it doesn't mean that people are going to see an increase in business. I think plenty of people are going to see an increase in business. We're seeing an increase in business.
We are.
I think it's really going to come down to who's out there that can convert that business, right? Being able to explain properly to your client, to your borrower, getting them to understand that even though rates are down, it might be, a little harder to get a loan right now. More people are going to come to the table to get a loan because rates are down, but maybe they're not going to be able to qualify for the same type of loan they wanted the first time they were out.
That's a good way to put it.
Maybe it's not the same amount of money that the first time they were out, but, doesn't mean that volume isn't going to increase for a number of people out there, and doesn't mean that more buyers aren't going to be able to get into what they're looking for. But I mean, that comes with a whole nother set of challenges, right? There's got to be something for them to get into, right? New construction is great right now. You can find a new home builder somewhere, or a custom home builder, or production home builder, whatever, and, go with them and find a house that's new. But resale, it's not that easy to find, right? The inventory is still not at a space where it's going to matter that these things are moving the way they're moving.
Right, the crazy shit, it was the deficit of demand to supply is 6.5 million homes. 6.5 million homes. Tell me that isn't crazy, bro. Yeah. So, what's funny? I also saw, what's funny? And something that I also saw was that there's a new thing coming around, this bill that the Biden administration is trying to pass, where it tells all of these big investment companies to give up their real estate, right? So like the Black Rocks and all that. You've heard it. We talked about that. Yeah. So, but you said something interesting about it. You were like, they passed it, so there's a lot of harp on it. Oh, this is going to free up a bunch of homes. What's your real take on that?
I think you're going to see a lot of stuff this year that's going to be, free this up, free that up, whatever it is. I mean, honestly, this year it's going to be all about pandering to to politicians' bases. So they're going to put a lot of stuff out there that may make them look good and one side of the fence or the other, it doesn't matter. All sides of the fence are going to put stuff out there that are going to put them in a favorable light. So who knows what comes out of any of it? I always find that all legislation out there comes with 900 other pieces of legislation attached to it.
That's what I wanted you to say.
I've always been a big proponent of Congress, the House, the people who pass our laws should have one law at a time, nothing else attached to it. That's my personal opinion.
Wait. I like that because you taught me this and I thought it was super dope. What is it? How does Congress pass the laws that people are not really aware of? Because this bill is hidden in there as well. This.
Yeah, I don't know if that bill's hidden in that one. I don't have enough knowledge of that particular or where that particular part of that, where that particular law or legislation lies within the bill. But what you're referring to is how most of the laws that pass through the country or proposed through the country are proposed with 5 or 6 or 10 or 20 or 100 other things within the bill, right? So Congress gets a bill or, legislators get a bill, and that bill comes with section A, B, C, D, whatever. And each one of those sections could be a separate, separate law, separate bill, separate separate whatever you call it, that pertains to something completely outside of the scope of the first thing. And, that's why all the compromises get made, we'll pass this if you pass that, and et cetera, et cetera. And that's why I really think that one piece of legislation per bill or however it is. And by the way, guys, I'm not a politician. I'm not well versed in that world. The only thing I'm saying is that putting 100 different laws in one bill
don't work.
Leads you down the path of I have to, because if I don't, then I don't get this. And that's not really the way we should be making decisions in this country or any other country, right? It should be, hey, here's the topic. Should we do this or not? Is it going to pass or not? There you go.
Yeah, I know. I agree 100%. You got to get the clarity on it. You got to get all of those items out. It's funny because, well, number one, welcome to AP Gov, baby. We just taught you about the U.S. government stuff that I didn't even know. But yeah, so it's actually really funny because the reason I wanted to talk about that was because you're probably out there right now. You're going to probably see a lot of mortgage companies, a lot of social media posts, clickbait, all of these things that are being offered. I think I saw 300 TikTok videos, right? And what I'm here to say is that we talk about the real stuff in here. Like, we tell you what we naturally really think if this is going to pass or not. We're not here for fluff pieces. And I just put out a LinkedIn on this actually for us that, we are not selling a thing. So we are not employed by anybody. So we can speak the real factual evidence. Not factual evidence. We can speak our truth, our opinions as to what we really feel like is going to happen. And I feel like a lot of people are getting these pieces of information and then just waiting on those things to actually come about. So you're probably going to be seeing a lot of these things that are going to be, I guess, I don't want to say overpromised, by this election cycle or whatever it may be, right? Because it's either here on one side of the fence or the other, but you're probably going to be seeing a lot of these promises come about where, hey, we're going to do this, we're going to free up housing, interest rates are going to come down, and people are probably going to stay on the sidelines waiting for this stuff to happen. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I think, as far as going back to those 3 particular items, interest rates coming down, that's going to happen gradually through the year. Naturally, there's going to be a highlight or a focus every time it moves a little bit. That's going to be big headlines, and that's going to help drive whatever the political agenda is. But I don't see rates getting into that lower 6, 5 area probably until the end of the year, third quarter, somewhere.
Early 2025, yeah.
I really don't see that happening. I'm surprised that it may even go back down to 5. I was expecting it to be in the 6, 7 range permanently, or at least for the next, foreseeable future.
You said you were like, rates are going to settle in the 7s.
6s. I always said that I felt like rates were going to settle in the 6s and not go to the 5s. But there are a lot of people out there calling for it to be in the 5s right now, or predicting that it will get to the 5s. I'm not in the same camp, but hey, if it gets there, great.
I mean, it's going to be awesome. Great for us, great for everything there. But again, the problem is not the fact that the rates anymore. Like, to me, I don't think the problems are the fact that the rates are going to go down. I think it's this housing shortage thing that we have. this deficit of supply and demand that we have.
Yeah, so, rates go down. That's great. People come back to apply for a mortgage or a home loan. Maybe some of them, have something lying in wait for them. Maybe they had a deal with somebody and they were like, hey, just hold off. And maybe that seller agreed to hold off. But the reality is there's just not a lot of sellers. And why isn't there a lot of sellers? It's because where's the seller going to go, right? The seller's going to sell their house and they're thinking, oh, now I got $100,000 in profit. I'm going to use that to put 20% down on a home or 30% or 40%, whatever that house is. And they get out there to do that and realize that now that they're buying another house, their payment's going to be $400, $500, $1,000, whatever,
$1,000. Yeah, I feel that.
$1,000 more than their previous payment. And that's not going to work for them.
No.
So now they're not selling their house anymore. And now you take an application that isn't going to get converted.
And sellers more than likely have lower interest rates than these 5 and 6s. So they got to say, okay, I'm going to go sell my house to go get a bigger house, to get back in the market, to potentially have a higher payment. And all these things are just not lucrative unless you really need to, unless you're hitting our 7 Ds, right? That you really need to. Your family's growing. You just can't anymore. It's funny because one of my family members, he has a growing family. And he bought a space in 2021. It was an apartment. He bought it in 2021. We did the loan and all that. And he bought a 3-bedroom. And his family's grown. He's had kids. His family's grown. It's no longer suitable for him. He's been trying to buy a home, but he says, these homes are ridiculous. It's like he just can't fathom paying daycare, all of these things and all these costs, plus buying a home here down in Miami. Luckily for him, his family from his wife's side lives somewhere else, and they have a home that was able to. So he's moved into that home, pays rent now to them, but a substantially lower rent there. But it's people are getting creative, like these things that are
in our market here in South Florida. Affordability is also an issue, right? So you can have lower rates, you can have all these things happen, but since that supply issue is still there, the value of the home continues to go up. And even if the area is overvalued, it doesn't matter, right? Overpriced or not, if there's no inventory, no matter how overpriced it is, it's just going to continue to climb because the seller dictates what their house is worth or what they're going to sell their house for. And in the case where there's somebody that has to move no matter what and they must buy, well, they're going to buy that house for that inflated price or that higher price. And then, somebody else down the street's going to sell. And now there's a precedent of, hey, these homes are worth this much more because houses are selling for that much more.
Yeah. I think it's, I think that, you said the seller dictates the price. I mean, look, in my personal opinion, I always think the buyers dictate the price because the reason is, if somebody's willing to pay for that, then yeah, you got to either pay what they're willing to pay or pay above what they're willing to pay.
Right. But the buyer's not dictating the price. The buyer's willing to pay the price.
Willing to pay that price. But then if no buyer was willing to pay that price, then nobody would pay that price. So they wouldn't be able to sell at that price.
Well, then what happens right now? The seller just doesn't sell and there's no inventory. Yeah.
It's all like a huge economic thing. Or you can do what... Huge economic shebang. Yeah, I took I took macroeconomics in college, which wasn't that long ago. I'm acting like I'm 100 years old, like you.
Not like me. Somebody called me Santa Claus recently. Actually, 2 people called me Santa Claus on the same day on 2 different calls.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I wouldn't say you look like Santa Claus.
I wouldn't say I look like Santa Claus either.
No, I mean, I'm digging the bald look. I'm digging the beard. Yeah, are you guys liking the beard? Drop a comment below. Say beard, all caps. But if you want him to shave it, he's actually willing to do that as well, So comment shave if you wanted to. I mean, housing shortage it's a crazy concept. And we could be here talking about that for hours. But some super dope thing that I just read is, believe it or not, hotel conversions for this particular reason are skyrocketing.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of that on the commercial side too, right?
Yeah.
So we're seeing a lot of developers come to us and say, hey, we want to take this old building. And we'll get a deal up in Pittsburgh right now. I want to take this old building. I want to convert it into condos, luxury apartments, whatever you want to call it. And then they're gonna sell that out, and so they're creating housing and they're creating, multi-unit housing. It's not single family. You're not gonna have a yard. You're not gonna have those things, but maybe you have some amenities. But yes, we're seeing a big pickup in that space.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a great thing, man.
One of the biggest things we see there, and it's really funny, is everybody wants to do it, right? Everybody wants to get in on changing it over. Nobody has experience. Oh, I've got all the money in the world. I want to do this, but I've never done it before. Well, okay, that doesn't work. And that's something I try to tell a lot of our commercial clients is the person that's coming to you that wants to do this kind of a development deal, if they don't have the experience to do the development deal, we can't do that loan for them. We need them to have experience. We need them to have had experience
Building
in
something
that
like this.
space.
Yeah.
Just because you built 2 single-family homes once upon a time does not give you the experience to build a 100-unit apartment complex.
Well, I mean, and some people, you guys, viewers might be asking, like loan officers, people that may come to this space, they may be asking, why not? Right? Like, why not? And the reason why not is we have experienced real life experience where we have had 2 deals come to us where the contractor didn't finish the project, ran out of money, and now the lender has say, hey, you owe me $30 million. Like, where are we gonna get this? So the lender is washing their back. The lender is gonna say, man, if I'm gonna give this $60 million deal, you better know what I'm doing, bro. You better know that because you better know, because at the end of the day, what's to stop the contractor from saying, well, it looks pretty good to me. I got paid whatever I needed and walk away if they're not, if they're not really experienced or causing snags in the actual building that will not allow them to continue moving forward. And now these term deals that usually they get are short-term, bridge loans for the construction part of it.
Yeah, that could be. That definitely could be.
So in that short-term span, if you're not finishing that, the lender has calculated 12 months of payments and 12 months of, because when a lender lends the money, and sometimes they'll sell this in the back end unless they have the bandwidth to lend out the money and hold it for 2 years, right? But if you're talking usually shorter term lenders that are lending out this money, they generally don't sell it. They like to keep it for the 2 years, collect the interest. It's a higher interest rate loan.
Yeah, so those are going to be the people that fall into that category, right? Like, you've got your bridge loan providers, you've got your, hey, you went the traditional construction loan route, didn't work for you, now you're coming to us. That's like a B paper type of deal there. You've got your SBA side too, where if you're building something that is strictly for business purposes, it can be an apartment complex, as long as you're the owner of the apartment complex and not, living in one unit, right? 51% of the unit is the business purpose there. You can definitely get into that SBA space. Those are much more favorable terms, lower rates, longer amortization period, longer terms.
It's a mixed use action.
But through mixed use, yeah. And so the ones you're speaking about, they're shorter term, right? If you get 24 months, you're pretty good. If you get 18 to 12, that's normal. But it's all bridge financing, right? It's the construction piece to be done and refinanced out later.
So. The construction loan, it's its own beast. So hotel conversions, man, it's a really, really cool thing now that we're seeing over here, man. And it's, what I really like about it, Roy? I like that this market has brought so much creativity and ingenuity, into how am I going to buy a home? How am I going to get a loan for my client, whether it be commercial or whether it be residential? And that's why it's so important for us as brokers and as a mortgage company, and for everybody watching this that is a loan officer or company, to have good relationships with good banks that are offering alternative programs for your clients, because credit availability is down. So you need to make yourself available to have the necessary resources for your clients to say, hey, you didn't qualify with this bank, but I can send you over to this bank that I trust that's going to get you in their home, because you need to get creative. Sure. And something that I think that we have that's really, really good, where we've made, you in your 17,000 years of doing mortgages, or in this mortgage space, you've made a lot of relationships with a lot of people. So a lot of the banks that we're signed up with or that we work with are personal relationships, correct? It's holiday season, but some things that I do want to talk about. Did you know that stress and anxiety during this holiday season rise by about 40%? Loneliness and depression are actually up by about a total of 50%. That's crazy to me. This is why I live my life in a state of gratitude all the time. I'm grateful for what I have and what I don't have. I'm grateful for the journey. I'm grateful for what I've been through. I'm grateful for the love the Lord has given me, and I'm grateful for the love I've had with my fiance. I'm grateful for the love I have around me at all times and constantly. Sometimes we can get so focused on just looking at what's bad, what's happening, what don't we have, right? Because we're in a consumerist, capitalistic environment. We need to be focusing on, that's why every day I make it a point to focus on what I'm grateful for. And what I'm grateful for is my family, grateful for my future marriage, grateful for my future kids, being a husband, a man people can be proud of. And I'm just grateful for every opportunity that I've ever gotten in my life. Write down what you're grateful for in the comments below. I want to hear from you because I want you to be happy all the time, just like I am.
Yeah, a lot of the people that we do work with, the account executives or maybe somebody at their company has a personal relationship with me. That's the reason we've signed up. It's also a really good thing. And before we get into, why that's a really good thing, I'd like to make sure we mention we're technically a mortgage lender, not a mortgage broker, but we do function as a broker in 5 out of our 6 states. And that's because we chose to stay as a lender only in Florida. So, our teams get exposed to both sides of the fence. And, always make sure we remember to include that there. But relationships matter, right? So on our wholesale side, when we're, either working with our mini correspondent team or we're working with our wholesale broker side teams, the relationship matters in a way that I can't even explain, right? Because think about it. Some of these companies right now that are out there providing product and financing for through wholesale companies to mortgage brokers have disappeared. And that's terrible. Some have been around for ages and aren't going anywhere, but, credit is tightening on their side too. And that's how they've managed to make sure that they stay in business for the long haul. And so things are getting a little tighter over there, maybe harder to do a loan. You've got others that, have been doing this for an intermediate space of time, maybe between the newcomers and the veterans, and they're trying to figure out how to get through this.
Dip their toe in there.
So, you got that wide array of people that fall into all those categories, and you're going to experience all those, and that's why relationships matter. We do business with a lot of people who we have, strong and long relationships.
We know, who we trust, bro. And let me tell you something, guys. I'm going to get passionate right here because, man, some BS happened to me. And it's happened to me, right? It literally just happened to me. I have a borrower who has a specific niche type of product right now, who has a specific niche type of property, I will say, right? And and this is my own fault. My fault. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. It's my own fault. On top of the fact that it is not as well, but I blame things on myself. So listen, I'm the type of guy. A lot of people, if you know me, I don't make excuses. Roy also does a very similar thing. We're not guys that make excuses. If we mess up, right? And if we do something wrong by our client, I'm sorry. Wow, let me rephrase that. We've not done anything wrong by our clients, but if we happen to mess up, even if it is not our fault, man, we're the direct point of contact to the client, and we take the hit, man. We take the hit because at the end of the day, somewhere there, we could have maybe done something different to have prevented that. But again, getting off point. But so what happened to me was my client has he needed a loan last year. The property was not allowed to be lent on because the property had a pending litigation on it. So I couldn't do it anywhere, right? So I had to do a 12-month bridge loan, hard money, right? Got him some cash out, whatever, Fast forward a year, I need to refinance him out of the bridge loan. Because of what the market did in 2023, the property actually decreased in value. So now I'm like, all right, well, I need to get you higher leverage based on this thing, right? So he was rate shopping me. And so he rate shopped me, left me, and that was that. I was like, it is what it is, bro. You know, you're going to leave me. I can't compete with what you're doing. He came back after the rate shop, and I was like, of course you did.
Of course you did.
Of course you did, because I knew that it couldn't be done. I was like, I had one person that I could have done it. So I started to do the same rate shopping as well. And I found a lender that never have I ever worked with them. Never have I ever worked with them. And I was like, all right, you know, this rate's really good. You guys have this really good program that is just checking off every one of my boxes. I'm gonna marry you. I'm gonna do this. Go in, fast forward 3 months. It's been 3 months. And the product that we were gonna use, they took it away. They took it away. They laid off the underwriter. They laid off the account executive. They laid off I don't even think my account executive is there anymore. I couldn't even get in touch with them for 2 weeks. And just for them to tell me, hey, the product's no longer here. You're going to have to change everything. And now I'm like, I'm losing my mind. I'm like, I got this client for 3 months. What do I tell him? I don't even know what to do. So I'm like, listen, let's just figure this out, whatever. Can I get an exception? Yeah, you can get an exception, but you need to get me this piece. By the way, just so to let you know, the thing that they were waiting on was to make sure that he didn't make another late payment, but he didn't. So I was telling them, hey, listen, he has not. Can you just get the exception approved with this? No, we need to know.
Approved with what, though?
The fact that there's no 30-day lates. They wanted
so
proof.
You had credit showing.
I had everything. I had everything. So, but since the loan took so long because of them, we're a month, 2 months. So they're like, we need to make sure there's no 30-day late. And I was like,
okay,
it's like,
so
listen,
you
I
needed the updated.
It's like, listen, just give me the exception contingent upon the fact that he doesn't have 30-day lates because I need a verification of mortgage that the private money lender is not in town. It is taking long. So 30-day, I'm like, just give me the exception contingent upon this. No, we can't do that. We need to make sure. We need to make sure before we ask the exception. A week and a half, 2 weeks later, we get it. I give it to them. They come back in less than an hour. Exception denied. Loan is dead. I'm like, bro, what 3 months, bro. 3 months I've been with these guys just for them to do this to me, to lay off my underwriters. I had no communication with their team. Like, I didn't even know that they laid them off. They did not relate to me that hey, you laid off. This is your new team. No, I had to figure out by calling their headquarters and just calling them over and over and over again.
You're out of business, no?
No, they might be, you know, I'm not, and we're not saying any names here, by the way. So if you really, really want to know who this is, you can contact me completely separately, but I will not say that here. Roy told me I could get in trouble for that, so I won't.
True story.
If Roy did not say that, I would say. But that's the point, guys. I went with somebody I didn't know. I went with somebody that I never worked with. I went with somebody I didn't vet. And this happened to me. Now I look terrible to my client. Now it falls on me. And that's why from this day forward, I have vowed to
It's like a movie.
only
This day forward, I have vowed.
It's like what is it? Like a Japanese samurai movie? Like, you have betrayed my, whatever. But I will not use somebody that I don't trust anymore. Somebody that I know that can get the job done. Somebody that I've worked with before. Somebody that comes to me referred from somebody that I know or some nature.
Think about it, man. We've got so many that work really well with us, and
Never had an issue.
yeah, like
Never had this happen to me, by the way.
buddy over at A&D, right? Nas, man, he's great, right?
Now there's the man, bro. Now there's the man. So
yeah.
and we're signed up. We work with a really close knit group of people that we trust, that we've known. And if you're a mortgage broker or a loan officer or something of that nature, and you're looking to expand your database, as you've already seen in our past episodes, we've already made it absolutely essential for you to have this type of product array. And already from what we just told you right now here, the lack of credit availability, you need options, right? But you need trusted options. So if you want to know who we're working with, who is closing our loans, who is helping us get over the hurdles that is mortgage lending, send us a comment or just contact me or Roy directly. We'll work with you on getting you that list of the lenders that we use with the account executives and AEs, man. You know, we just wanted you guys to let you know we are appreciative of you and what you do, especially the responsive ones that have a wide product base and not the ones that just tell me to go somewhere else and get the information there.
You know, we should shout some people out, man, because some of them, they go above and beyond for us, right?
Let's do it.
Like Nas is one of them.
He's a beast. Always answering, always on the phone, never misses my
I'll tell
texts.
you another one. I don't do a lot of business with luxury just because I don't have a lot of loans personally, but Artie answers every damn call.
Every call.
I never have to worry about Artie not taking my call or, you know,
Text
not
message,
calling
whatever
me.
it is.
Yeah. Brenda at Freedom, amazing.
My dog. My
Yeah.
dog. She got that FHA guideline down packed. Let me tell you, if anything we need FHA, she's our go-to. Brenda there. Who else are we thinking?
Those are my three favorite.
Those are your three top.
Those are my three favorite.
All right, we'll keep it on the top three. We'll keep it as the top three there. I think that's pretty good there. But again, not to say, guys, if we didn't mention you, obviously we still care for you and very grateful for you. And we really, really, but those are the three that really just pop out. Those are my LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh, baby.
Yeah, there you go.
But that's really important. And this is what I love about us. Because of our relationships, because of who we are, because of what we know, because of more money, baby, we got some little insider info, right? Maybe not. Yeah, with these relationships. So right now, what's the biggest product that's going on right now, Roy?
Man, you know what I'm seeing a lot of talk about? I'm seeing non-QM second liens, non-QM HELOCs.
Wait.
So
I'm not seeing a lot of non-QM HELOCs. Are you saying that something maybe hit in the market?
maybe we've got some relationships with people who might let some things slip. And as long as we don't say their names or what their companies are, I think it's fair to say maybe we've heard some people say that there's going to be non-QM HELOCs out there. Maybe we're
Some
seeing
bank statement HELOCs?
bank statement qualifying HELOCs.
Some DSCR HELOCs, maybe?
DSCR HELOCs. Yeah, so there might be some interesting products that you see come to market over the next couple of weeks, months. I think
That's huge.
Be beneficial. I mean, think about it. In Miami alone, 20+% of the homes are free and clear. So getting a second lien or a HELOC or something like that, you know, that's a great option versus
That's what I'm
refinancing.
saying. So I mean, guys, you don't get this, what we have, who we are, what we do anywhere else. I don't care what you say. Listen to any other podcast, you don't get this. This is it. So, but because of our relationships, we know that maybe there are some products that maybe hit the market that are gonna. Now, if you're watching this, if you loan officer watching this and the product has not hit the market or you even know about it, prepare yourself. That is all we do. We help you prepare yourself. Prepare yourself for if this market comes up and already start looking through your database of people that qualify for this, right? This is what I do. I look through my database and I let them know, hey, this might be coming. You know, what's your situation right now? Oh, my situation is XYZ. Great.
Yeah, I mean, you know, listen, if you're a good loan officer, you're going to be able to do that kind of thing, and you're always doing it. You're constantly looking at your
Who would qualify? Yeah.
business and you know who does this benefit. I mean, that's part of your job role is to figure out, hey, who in my database of clients can I help by letting them know that this is available right now?
That's so important. That gets me to my next step. The real big thing, man. Yo, shout out to my boy Big Ben Anderson, bro. Shout out to my boy. We did his so we put all the loan offers through his training, his sales training curriculum. It's really good. But the number one thing that his main method is his family bank, is his just huge Excel sheet where he has all of his contacts, all of his clients, all of his people. It's not even a CRM. This is free, as simple as it can it possibly get. But his main thing is that he puts all of his contacts in there. And I've started doing that really well now as well. Anybody that touches my phone, anybody that calls me, it's in there. Boom. And now it's giving me the opportunity to truly go in there and look at, and I'm like, oh man, these people can use this. Like, my past clients can use this. Oh, this realtor literally brought this up to me 2 weeks ago. They can use this. And now I'm putting that.
It's funny, you know, people will say things to you like, why are you using an Excel sheet? I mean, listen, that particular family bank or whatever we call it, it's really useful. And CRMs are useful too. But, when you have a living document like that you have full control over, you don't have to worry about talking to an admin about software access. You don't have to worry about, hey, this category doesn't exist. You can make all of that on your own. There is a benefit. And also, on the broker side of the fence, for all you loan officers out there that are either independent or work for a mortgage broker somewhere, when you're using the family bank, your customer list is your customer list.
Yeah.
Not anybody else's customer list until it becomes a loan, and then it's in the LOS. But until it gets to the LOS, it's in your family bank.
Amen.
Nobody else needs to see that or have a phone number or have an email or have anything else. So in case you left that company, they wouldn't have that information. Unless you did a loan for that person, they wouldn't have that information. And that is highly beneficial.
Yeah, and if you're an owner or, I mean, if you're just even a loan officer, you may be asking yourself, why are you guys telling us this? Like, why would you guys as owners not want access to every loan that's come through you guys? It's because, dude, we don't care. We're not like that. We want you to know as a loan officer, when you work with us, with More Lending, your clients, your business is your business. You run it how you need to, you run it how it's profitable for you, and you run it how it should be for you.
And we help you get there, but we never take it to the point where we're worried about greed. I think one of the biggest things is, once you get overhead, once you get, a lot of things happening and you've got so many employees and you haven't embraced the capabilities that the market provides you through staff augmentation, through automation, through whatever AI capabilities are available today. If you haven't learned how to use all these things, then you have a higher overhead, right? Because you've got so many employees.
Yeah.
And now you need to eat more of what comes in, and we don't do that. We are utilizing everything outside of our own four walls to make sure we keep costs down. We've got a lot of interesting strategies on how we do that, not just those three that I mentioned, but other things as well. And that helps us to keep more dollars in our loan officers' pockets.
Yeah, it helps us pay higher commissions especially to experienced loan officers, man, that's going well. I mean, if you want to talk about it, you talk about it, but
Yeah, well, absolutely. We're, for experienced loan officers that don't need help, like, let's, for instance, we had one of our loan officers visit yesterday. She dropped by, say hello, and pick up a check since she was in the area. And I was like, yeah, no problem. We don't have to wait for, anything. You can just come by and I'll cut one for you. I don't hear from her otherwise. I don't hear from her.
Other than when she sends an email that says, hey, I have a loan closing.
Yeah, I have a loan closing. Just wanted to let you know. Thank you so much for letting me know. I would have seen it in the morning reports, but thank you so much. And that's awesome. She doesn't call for, I need help with the LOS. She doesn't call for, I need help with products. She doesn't call for, I need help with pricing she doesn't call for anything.
Nothing at all.
And for those loan officers that don't need that kind of help, listen, we have a fee-based system that is way better than our already robust basis point system, and it allows you to make 100% of whatever my overall margin is. So if I'm using a margin of 2.25, you keep 2.25.
225 basis points, especially in this market. So your rates are lower comparatively to other lenders in the area. So you don't have to worry about the risk of being rate shopped. Plus, you get the access to our systems as well. On that, you get access to all the back-end systems, the LOS, email. What else do we offer? The thing, Roy's the guy that does all this stuff. I just sell.
Roy's the guy who does all that stuff.
I just sell. But it's a really, really good, robust system and a really good way of what we have going now for experienced people. Now, for inexperienced people, we love to bring them on. We love to have you guys here, which is why we've taken to heart our team style system, where we pair up these experienced loan officers and help them build a team by offering them whatever support they need to help structure the team, to help create the team, whatever system they need on that.
That's a good example, right? So we've got a handful of people who, are brand new to the industry, and they come in with the hopes that they're going to close a loan. And we do have some timing criteria, right? So if you haven't closed a loan by X date from the time you were hired, then we move you into a junior type of space. But what we've been doing a lot lately is anybody who falls into that category, instead of just moving them into that junior type space, what we'll do is we'll offer them the ability to join somebody's team, and that team leader might have more time to
help them
dedicate
grow.
training and et cetera, things like that. And it helps a lot for a lot of people. Our team in Atlanta, headed up by Natalie, is crushing it and growing.
And
I
growing.
think there's 4 people.
There's 4 members on the team right now. Yeah.
Or 5 or 6, I don't even know.
Yeah. I mean, before I became an owner, I had a team, and the team was great, man. We did really, really good. We did really well. I had a lot of time to coach and do sales training. Now I just do it for the entire organization now. But it's really good stuff that we have bringing on these things that we're trying to change the landscape of how mortgage companies done, right? Trying to change the landscape and make it just a more profitable method, but also putting the power back in the loan officer's hands through various methods.
Yeah. And I mean, I like to caveat that, people say, well, you can't do that because you need controls, you need this and that. I'm well aware. Former chief compliance officer for almost a decade at, 2 different companies or 3 different companies actually. And so I have very stringent, I don't want to call them rules, just ways of doing business that help me avoid running into challenges when you put too much power into a loan officer's hand. Now, that's safety for us from a company perspective. It makes us a lot more attractive to people who want to say, hey, I want to be somewhere where I can do what I need to do to get deals in the door. But at the same time, there are things in place that are going to make sure that I don't fall or I don't break anything. And that's a really, really cool design we've kind of come up with.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, listen, I think you're 100% right. As you could tell, he is the compliance guy. I am the guy, I just speak and he's like, let me caveat that. I'm like, yeah, sure, caveat it all you want. But yeah, so, and I mean, guys, listen, we're coming up to 45 minutes. We know it's been a long episode, so we're just kind of, it's just so much information. We could keep going for another hour, straight up. I think
we
that
shouldn't do that though.
We shouldn't do that.
Hour.
We shouldn't. We're not going to continue to bore you guys. But bro, I heard through the grapevine, the vine of grapes in this office, that we might have somebody pretty special coming on, or that we might be bringing guests.
So hey, 2024, we're gonna be doing guests this year. There will be guests on the show. We have our 10th episode coming up. So this is episode 8.
We got 9.
Episode 9, and then
we got 10.
Episode 10, we have a guest appearance. The topic will be Gen Z. And we'll be focusing on that throughout the duration of the episode. And we are going to have somebody that specializes in that demographic, or at least talks about that demographic passionately and knows a lot about it. That's your demographic. It's a Gen Z, and
the young people.
We're going to have a great conversation. And listen, if you're looking to be on the show this year, 2024, give us a shout, give us a call, reach out to us. And, we're looking to make sure that we have a lot of traction this year with new people coming on and hearing what you have to say.
Let me tell you something. If you're watching this right now and you are considering, no, I don't know if I want to go on the episode. You want to be here. You want to come on this show. Because I will tell you something. By the end of this year, we will have grown this show to such an amazing show that we will not be taking everybody.
Yeah. You know what? I totally want to talk about that for a second. So we just got hit up today by some SEO YouTube person, and we get these hits every day, right? Like, oh, let us help you with your marketing, da 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 da. And he said the funniest thing. He said, "You only have 61 subscribers." I said, "You didn't do your homework. I only have 8 episodes. I've only been in business doing this podcast for 2.5 months. So." Think about what you just said. I have 61 subscribers in 2.5 months. We have put on a show that's got 61 subscribers in 2.5 months. Guys, we're going to be at 100 subscribers before you know it. And we're going to be at 500 subscribers before you know it. And the end of this year is just going to grow those numbers. So you definitely want to be on the show sooner rather than later.
100%. And we did those numbers by potentially talking about one of the most boring subjects in America. mortgages. So imagine if we had something really cool to talk about. We would be at like 10,000 subscribers. But I'm telling you, we will reach the 1,000 subscriber goal this year. And if you want to be part of this pioneer event, and let me tell you something, guys, the guest speaker we have coming on is not just a normal guest. This is somebody that is well known. This is
Yeah.
bear to call an influencer, like a legit influencer. Somebody who has how do I call it? Somebody who has movement in the social media space, who can actually like has persuasion. I don't know how to say it. Like, what's the has
I don't know what you're trying to say.
I don't know what I'm trying to say either. It just has a persuasive voice. So this is not somebody that you could just go scoop up on the corner of the street and get her on the show, right? So it's somebody that since our relationships we have built, and we're gonna actually bring on more people like this to offer you, the viewers, even more value. And if you really think you have some value to provide to our audience, right, to people around, right, to some of the topics that we're talking about, and really hone in on that value, then just reach out to us, man. Reach out to us, because we want to make this show as versatile, as informative, as unbiased as possible as we can, and really get into that nitty gritty stuff.
Sure. Yeah. And listen, it doesn't matter where you are. You know, you can be on this show and you can be in Seattle, Washington, even though we're shooting in Miami, Florida.
Yep.
And, you know, we'll put you on.
We'll put you on Zoom, baby.
You know, you'll talk to us and we'll talk to you, and we'll see you and you'll see us, and we'll put the video together.
Yes, sir.
Wherever you are, you want to be on the show, you let us know.
You definitely want to be on this show. I am telling you, look at me. Look at my face right now. You want to be on this show. What is it? The little hypnotic thing that you got there? I'm trying to hypnotize you, to be honest. Yeah, we're going to put you on Zoom, talk about that stuff. But I think that is all that we have. Took a 15-minute episode. Wow, that was great. All right, guys. Well, we'll see you on More Money. Episode numero ocho is this one. Numero nueve is the next one.
We'll see you on this episode. Or we saw you on this episode.
We're literally looking at you right now.
See you next time.
See you next time, guys. All right. That's a wonderful, wonderful thing.